So the Texas Democrats have left the state and gone to Illinois in order to prevent a quorum on the Texas legislature to prevent the redistricting of 5 congressional seats from Democratic control to Republican control. Make it basically a not representative district. I have some thoughts on these lawmakers because we're going to hear a lot about them over the next few days, and most of it uncomplimentary. Let's watch the video on today's events and the press conference with Governor Pritzker in Illinois.
They are indeed. It's a plane load of Texas Democratic lawmakers. In fact, they're still on the tarmac in Austin. We have a live picture of the plane sitting there, getting ready to take off very shortly. They are heading to Chicago. Some claim that they're escaping Texas right now because they are trying to prevent the state legislature there from having a quorum, enough lawmakers to be able to vote on a redistricting plan. They say that it is being forwarded by President Trump, will increase the number of Republican districts in that state by 5. Now, the group boarded that plane about an hour ago and due to land at O'Hare about 6:30, but they will be a little later than that, it looks like right now. They then will head straight to the DuPage County Democratic Party offices here in Carroll Stream, where they will meet with Governor Pritzker and also speak with the media. He says that the Democrats in Texas, in the Texas House, who try to...
So this is the Attorney General of the state of Texas and his comments on X, Twitter. I really can't stop calling it Twitter, regarding the Democrats and that they should be hunted down and brought back.
Stay away like cowards, should be found, arrested, and brought back to the Capitol immediately. He continues, we should use this every tool at our disposal to hand those who think that they are above the law, to handle those who think they're above the law. Meantime, Texas Democratic Senator Alex Padilla weighed in on this fight this morning.
Good evening. My name is... Okay, this is clearly not Alex Padilla, but I cut that video here and for brevity. This is the press conference earlier this evening in Illinois.
Gene Wu. I'm a minority leader in Texas and the leader of the Democrats in the Texas House. We're not here to have fun. We're not here because this is easy, and we did not make the decision to come here today. We did not make a decision lightly. We have been a part of this corruption for too long. We have seen it too many times, where Republican leaders promise our communities that they will protect our families and do what is necessary, but time and time again, they say pretty words and then take care of themselves. Well, today this corruption ends. Today, the people of the state of Texas have said enough. Enough of your games. Enough of your lies. Today, the corruption of Donald Trump and Greg Abbott ends. Right. Next up, we'll welcome our former...
Again, for brevity, I moved it forward to Governor J.B. Pritzker's more closing statements.
Calculated and explicit steps to grab unprecedented power and to silence his dissenters. He has ignored federal orders, federal court orders, encroached on states' rights, and he has strained our Constitution. As his cruel agenda reared its ugly head, Trump saw his poll numbers tanking and has begun to see that Republicans will likely lose control of Congress in 2026. When you try to tear health care away from veterans and seniors and people with disabilities, and stop food assistance for the most vulnerable working families in America, and raise prices on everyday groceries, all to fund tax breaks for the wealthiest people in this country, then voters are likely going to throw your party out. Yeah. So Trump came up with a new scheme, rig the system by ramming through a corrupt mid-decade redistricting plan that would steal 5 congressional seats, silencing millions of voices.
For informational sake, the typical time that every state, all 50 of them, do any sort of congressional redistricting is after the decadal census. So every 10 years we do a census, and then the population is counted, and the states do a redistricting of congressional districts. To have it happen halfway into a decade is, I know we throw this term out a lot now, but it's unprecedented. It just doesn't happen. And it's only happening because the Republicans are terrified that they're going to lose the House of Representatives in the midterm elections of 2026. So they're trying to rig these districts and these elections now and pick up seats.
Especially Black and Latino voters. Let's be clear, this is not just rigging the system in Texas. It's about rigging the system against the rights of all Americans for years to come. Now, Texas Republicans submitted to the president's orders and took steps to advance Trump's Texas takeover. And while Texas Democrats have been trying to work across the aisle to deliver disaster relief after the devastating floods in central Texas, Republicans chose to use the tragedy as political cover to cheat. That brings us to today. Texas Democrats were left no choice but to leave their home state, block a vote from taking place, and protect their constituents. This is a righteous act of courage, and we can all take a page from these leaders' playbook. When you show people that you have the will to fight, well, they can muster the will to fight too. Courage is contagious. I am very proud that Illinois Democrats have been in this fight from day one of Donald Trump's presidency. In the coming days and weeks, Illinois will partner with the Texas House Democratic Caucus to put a spotlight on the danger that Trump and Texas Republicans pose to all Americans. To be in public office right now is to constantly ask yourself, how do I make sure that we're standing on the right side of history? There's a simple answer. The wrong side of history will always tell you to be afraid. The right side of history will always expect you to be courageous. Expect courage from people around you, and it will show up. Expect fear, and fear will rule the day. Let the courage of these leaders be an example to the rest of the country. I'm proud to stand side by side with our friends from Texas today, and we'd be happy to take your questions.
Mr. Wu, can you talk about what is going to...
Okay, now there's some questions, and there's one in particular that we'll end this video on, and then I'd like to, I'll make a few comments on this and why I think what they're doing is incredible, despite what we're going to hear about them in the coming days.
The only thing we have in our minds is, what do we need to do to protect Texans? What do we need to do to protect Americans? And what each and every one of us has said is that we will do whatever it takes. That what that looks like, we don't know.
Andy Norris, Governor Kathy Hochul have both talked about the possibility of redistricting there. Would you accuse them of also cheating if they do so?
Okay, in case this question wasn't clear, I'll repeat it real quick, what exactly she said. She said that the governors of California, and I believe Pritzker's made a comment, and Maryland's made a comment, and some governors of blue states have made comments that if Texas were to go through with this redistricting, then they would do redistricting as well. This reporter is asking him that if J.B. Pritzker considers redistricting before, like in the middle of the decade, to be cheating, would not California and other governors, Democratic governors, be advocating for cheating as well? And this is his answer.
Remember, all bets are off when the cult leader and would-be dictator of the United States tells Texas to midstream change the game. when they know that they're going to lose in 2026, all bets are off. Everything's got to be on the table. And then, so
But how is it cheating in one sense and not cheating in another?
the cheating here is the fact that we are midstream in 2025, and they want to rewrite the map, and for only one reason. The cult leader of their party tells them to do it because he knows he's going to lose control of the House of Representatives.
So that was the press conference as well as what's going on today. And you saw the comments from Ken Paxton. Governor Abbott has also made comments that he will look to strip them of their seats. And I want to first talk about the reporter's question of, if you're calling it that they're cheating, then how is what you're proposing to do not cheating? That is the dumbest freaking question I have ever heard in my life. I've heard some Democrats term it as unilaterally disarming, and I can't agree more with that statement. If you're looking at it like it's a game, okay, and a lot of us treat politics like a football game. You have your team, I have my team. Some of us decide what team we're going to root for based on, various things. But if you just look at it as a game, I pose a question to all of you. If you're playing poker, all right, high stakes poker, and you're playing with your family's mortgage like an idiot. Yeah, it's stupid to do so, but let's say you have your life savings and chips in front of you, and you're sitting down at a poker table, and the person you're playing against is cheating, just blatantly cheating, not even trying to hide it from you. Do you keep playing? No, you'd take your chips, you'd walk off the table, you'd find the nearest authority and say, that guy's cheating. He's being totally crass about it. He's being right up front about it. Do something. Now, what happens if the authorities you go to, after hearing your story, don't do anything about the cheater? Okay? And then let's say they force you at the table and say, no, you can't leave. You have to play. You can't get up and go. You have to gamble with your life savings with this person that is just throwing it in your face that they're cheating. What do? Do you just sit there and go, well, I'm going to continue playing by the rules of poker, and you know what, at least I can get up off the table having lost my life savings knowing that I followed the rules? No, you're going to find every way possible to cheat back. That is it. That is the name of the game. If your family's life savings are sitting there and you have to play that game, and the guy across from you is cheating, you will find every way possible to cheat back. And that's all this is. If the game is rigged, then rig it back until you can make it honest. That's all this is. So that reporter's question was so stupid. It really was. It was insanely disingenuous and just a facile, commentary on what she truly thinks this is. This is a game. It has no consequence to her. This is all theater. Whatever, she'll be fine. Now, let's talk about these Democratic lawmakers for a little bit. And we're going to hear some very awful things about them on social media, right here on YouTube, and in the newspapers and on Fox News and Newsmax and everything else. You're gonna hear calls for their arrest. You're gonna hear them called traitors. You're gonna hear them called fascists and uncaring, and they don't care about the people of Texas. And you're gonna hear some really nasty stuff about them. But let's put it in perspective and what kind of courage it takes for these people to do this. Texas is the 20-year Republican experiment in governance. Ken Paxton, the Attorney General, his own party tried to impeach him because he's so corrupt, and he cut a corrupt deal. He bought him off. He literally, in plain day, bought off the vote on his own impeachment. All right, so that's who you're dealing with here. The Republican Party in Texas is deeply, deeply corrupt. And who are these Democratic lawmakers? All right. I think when we call them, legislators and lawmakers and state lawmakers, we all tend to think of DC, Washington, DC, and the House of Representatives. And there are these, high-powered lawyers or businessmen, wealthy people that ran for office, and now they're in Washington, DC, living the high life and everything else. That is so not the case with state legislatures. State legislators are your neighbors. They have jobs, usually normal jobs. They span the walk of life of the community that they represent for their state. They're only expected to serve for, the legislative session is usually only like a month or 2 months a year, and they get paid a pittance, $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the state. That's what they get paid to be a state representative and enact laws for your state. And so let's look at the sacrifice that these people are making. They've left their jobs, right? They've left their jobs, they've left their families. They're hanging out in a state that they don't live in, no income, and they're being threatened with arrest. They're going to be fined $500 for every day that they don't show up. So there's a financial burden there. And these are just regular people. These could be an electrician, a plumber that got voted in. They have normal jobs. They have normal lives. There's not many regular people that can just sacrifice a month of their lives to hide out in another state, get fined $500 a day, get threatened with arrest on just a whim. So keep that in perspective when it's said that this is just a stunt or this is just theater, that these people are sacrificing greatly to do this, that this is something they wholeheartedly believe in. And what could possibly make a person sacrifice this much? It's got to be something that is very important to them. It's got to be an issue of critical importance for any of us to make that type of sacrifice. So remember that over the next few days, when all the slander and lies and everything else about these people is being said out in public. Please hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching this far,